So today, really, as you know, I'm very, very passionate about nursing, but particularly I'm passionate about career growth, career development, and the tools that you need in order to secure, those nursing positions that you really want. In line with that, I'm going to be talking today about the importance of understanding the culture within your organization. So, what do I mean by the culture within your organization? So, if you want to succeed and, say, let's just say have a senior position or move from one banding to another, you must understand what the culture is within your organization. For example, what do I mean? If you're a nurse working, I don't know, on a ward or in an area, it doesn't matter whether you're in a hospital, in a nursing home, in a private, hospital or NHS. It really doesn't matter where you're working, but it's still the same rule that is going to apply. You need to understand what the culture is within that area. First, the ward itself, then the hospital. And obviously, if you're an overseas trained nurse, then it's even more challenging because you've got to understand the culture in the UK. What are the people like? You have to understand all of that. Once you've understood that, you've then got to understand the culture within the NHS or within, the organization where you're working. Once you've understood that, you need to understand the culture within your particular area and your hospital or your organization as well. So that is the first thing, and that is the main thing that you must understand. You have to crack that code. You need to know what the trends are. Why were you recruited? What happened to your predecessors? What about career growth and development? Are they promoting nurses from within the area? Those promoted, or if there's a senior position comes up, they always recruit people from outside. You need to understand these trends. You need to understand the value that is placed on all these different things. And again, like I always say, career growth and development is not an episode, not an event, but it is a process. If you want to develop from day one, you need to be thinking about all these things. And when I say thinking, it's not only about, it's what you do with the information that you have going to lead to that success. Because you can know so much, but if you do nothing with what you know, then obviously it really won't get you anywhere, because it's just like you don't know anyway. You need to make use of information that you have. You have to make use of information that you find so that you apply it to your specific circumstance or circumstances so that it can lead you to the outcomes and that you want, basically. When it comes to understanding the culture of an organization, you need to think about, the 80-20 rule. That's what I call it. You have 80% of things you can change. You can work on them, you can change them. But there's that 20%, guys. There's that 20% that is tough. It's tough to change. Very, very tough. I know many of us think we're very smart. Many of us think that we're different from everyone else that has been. We think that our case is going to be different. But what I will say to this is choose your battles wisely. Choose your battles wisely. You don't want to spend so much time trying to change something that, and it takes you 10 years, 20 years, you're still there, it still hasn't changed. And you're still thinking, oh, let me give it another go. You need to know when is the time to stop, back off and say, actually, is there something else going on here? Or, what else can I do? So the 80% of things that you can change, you need to focus your energy, your time, your resources on those particular things. Do not over focus on the 20% of things that you are unlikely to ever get to change. So that is what I call the 80-20 rule. What you can change and what you can't change. I'm just giving it so that I can give some perspective to it. But the thing is, many things that we do or many things that we try to change, I can actually, in a way, link them to this example. If you're working on a ward that is a general medical ward and you think, I'm really into cardiology, I would like to work in cardiology, what should I do? There are two things you can do. You either leave from the ward where you're working because it's medicine and you apply for a job on a cardiology ward, or you stay on that ward and think, I really like this ward, I'm going to stay here and hope or campaign that one day it becomes a cardiology ward. What is the likelihood of you actually achieving that dream if you stay there and try to change, a medical ward onto, to a cardiology ward? It's going to be tough, guys. But if you say that you're going to try to apply for a job in a cardiology ward because that is, what you really like, then that is a smart goal. That is very, very achievable, and that is going to be possible. So just think deeper within this example and try to apply it in some of the things that you're currently experiencing and that you would like to change. Again, you would find that in many places, they would always prefer to recruit nurses from out to add to the team. And I have many people asking asking me this and say, oh, Melvis, I've applied for these positions, I've done this, but I don't really seem to get it. I'm very skilled, I'm very experienced, I'm very efficient, I know the world really well, I worked there for so long. Why can't I get it? Because they're recruiting all these nurses who are probably, not even familiar with the specialty or not as experienced as I am. And what I will say to this is you need to think that the purpose of, there's a massive shortage in nursing staff, guys, massive, and especially at the level of band 5, because that is where this shortage is really, really acute. It's not when you try to apply for senior positions, you find that the story is really, really different, because you only have so many senior nurses. What you really need is many band 5 nurses, as many as possible. So many managers or organizations, what they will do is, if they have a senior position come up, you would find that if you basically give the job to a nurse from outside, then they are adding onto your team. They're adding to your team. Remember that they are adding to your team. When you promote nurses from within the area that you're working, yes, it's good, but in terms of management, you are then creating another vacancy. Yes, you've closed one vacancy, but you've indirectly created another one. So that position that becomes vacant because you promoted that nurse, you have to fill it. But if you recruit a nurse from out, you're adding to your team. And remember, sometimes you have to put yourself in the shoes of management. Because guys, when you're a manager, you're trying to keep your staff, you're trying to add to your team, you're trying to build a team, and you have to make that comes with making difficult decisions. But for you as a nurse working, you have to think about what's best for you as well. And that is why I talk about understanding the culture within your organization. Once you understand the culture, what is going on, it makes it a lot easier for you to crack that code and be able to succeed and have those senior positions that you want. My subsequent videos will be about how you can actually achieve this and what you need to do and all of that. Make sure that you stay tuned. Just check when I put in your videos, send me feedback, and we'll take it from there. So again, thank you very much for listening. To have a good day and stay safe.